Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katrina and I make videos about luxury, travel, and life in my 20s. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about my luxury wish list. The last time I did this video, last year, I ended up buying everything on my wish list. So this one's going to be a completely new wish list, and it is not a wish list specific to this year, but more of a long-term, maybe in the future kind of wish list. But let's dive right in. So the first item on my wish list is a luxury watch. At the moment, this doesn't really make sense for my lifestyle, so it's not something that I want to buy now or maybe even in a couple of years. Ever since the Apple Watch came out, I got one back in like 2018, and I used to always wear one. All the data that comes with working out, going on runs, etc. It's just interesting for me to look at. So I am currently too attached to having a fitness tracker on at all times to be able to have a nice watch. If I am deciding to buy a luxury watch, I want to be able to wear it all the time, because the ones that I want are a pretty big investment and I want to have the cost per use be as low as possible, and if I'm not wearing it on a daily basis, I don't think it's worth it. So that was a ramble, but long story short, it's not something that I want right now, but I think in the longer term, once I finally get over wearing a fitness tracker all the time, I do want a luxury watch. The watch in particular that I have in mind at the moment is the Cartier Panthère watch. I really like the yellow gold one because all of my Cartier pieces currently are yellow gold. I do have a little bit of mixed metal stuff like my Trinity, so maybe I'll go that route, but the yellow gold one has caught my eye and I like the small version. But at the time of me filming this video, that watch currently costs $24,000, and that is a huge investment. And again, I'm not ready to make that right now, but maybe down the line, potentially if I come across a vintage version of this watch that is at a more affordable price range, then maybe that's something I'll think about. I also have looked into the two-toned or like mixed metal version of this watch, and I believe that the cost of that watch right now, at the time of me filming this video, is around $10,000, which is still a pretty steep price for a watch, but it's like half the price of a full yellow gold one. So that is something that I might consider for the future. Maybe by then I'll be more into mixing metals, so it might make more sense down the line. But the Panthère watch has always caught my eye whenever I go into the store, and I feel like it's a classic, it's pretty dainty, it goes with everything. So that is one watch that is on my wish list. Another one that is newer from Cartier that I started noticing more recently is the Band Noir. I believe that's how you pronounce it. There are two different types of the Band Noir that I've noticed so far. There is one that is fully gold for the watch, and then there's another version where the strap is a leather strap that you can add on to it, and the gold is just like the clock on the watch itself. Band Noir watch that's fully gold is right now $13,000, and the one that has a leather strap instead is around $7,000. Slightly cheaper than the Panthère. I think it's just because it uses less gold, since it is a smaller, more daintier watch than the Panthère. So in the future, when I'm possibly looking into investing in a nice luxury watch, those two are on my wish list, but we'll see what happens when the time comes, and if the time comes. So last year I started my Van Cleef collection when I went to Barcelona, and I got my first necklace. I got the vintage Alhambra in the mother of pearl. I thought that I wanted to grow my Van Cleef collection a little bit more in the future, and I added a couple of pieces to my wish list. We'll go over them quickly. I wanted the guilloche necklace, which I kind of debated when I first got my Van Cleef piece, but I ended up not getting it because I wanted a stone because I felt like it was more classic. So the guilloche is one. And then a 5-motif bracelet has also been on my wish list, specifically in the carnelian stone. I initially thought I would want the onyx, but when I tried it on when I was in store last year, it just felt very flat, I guess, to me. Like it was just a black color and it kind of had no dimension. And I don't know what I was expecting, but I wanted a little more definition, I guess, in this stone, and the onyx just didn't come with that. So I noticed that the carnelian can sometimes come in like a darker red color, and I really like the look of that. As probably many of you know, if you're watching my video, you probably watch a lot of other luxury videos. Van Cleef had a whole situation happen with an influencer named Mango Monica, or her handle is Mango Monica. She was having issues with her guilloche 5-motif bracelet, and the store did not handle it well, and the company as a whole just didn't handle the whole situation well. So after I saw that, I was like, you know, I'm not gonna give any more money to Van Cleef. So I have decided to take those items off my wish list. I really wanted them for a while, but I was kind of excited thinking about maybe getting them in the future. But I thought about it again, and after hearing about that experience, I was like, I don't want to ever go through something like that and have their customer service not be helpful. And as someone who's not a big influencer, if this were to happen to me, I probably would not be compensated at all for it. So if that's the way they treat someone who has a big following, me as someone who doesn't have a big following, it's probably going to be even worse for me. So I removed those from my wish list, but I still want to make note of them here because if I had filmed this video a little bit earlier, those are the 2 pieces that I probably would have brought up. The last piece on my wish list is a bag, and that bag is a Chanel classic flap in either the small or the medium size. I currently do have a vintage Chanel piece. If you've watched my other videos, you've probably seen it before. It's the mini classic flap in a nude/beige color. I don't get too much wear out of that bag just because it's the beige color and I'm scared of color transfer. I usually wear it only on special occasions. So on my wish list, I want to have a more everyday Chanel bag on the vintage pieces. And I just like the look of the flat quilts. I used to be obsessed with the caviar leather, but I've shifted a little bit and I like the look of the flat lambskin quilts instead. Along with that, the 24 karat gold that's on those vintage bags just looks so much brighter, and I'm just obsessed with the look of it. So that is the only bag that is on my wish list for the long-term future. I think in the future, if I come across one that I really like and the price is within the range that I'm looking for, then maybe I'll add it to my collection, but for now I am content with what I have. And I don't feel the need to add a bag to my collection at this very moment. That was pretty short and sweet, but that is my full wish list right now. I feel like this year I have not been too fixated on trying to add more things to my collection. I think kind of just the nature of the world right now is to not overconsume anymore. I feel like the past couple of years, people are always like, here's this new thing and that new thing, and it kind of encouraged people to keep buying stuff. But I feel like more recently, I think the world has shifted a little bit, or maybe just the US has shifted a little bit, and people are a little bit more mindful about their consumption and are trying to be more minimalist. I haven't been thinking about a whole lot of designer pieces more recently, which I think is a good thing, so I don't need to keep creating wish lists and adding to them. Over the past couple of years, I feel like I've built up my collection so much with all the things that I had been thinking about for years and years, and now that I've got all those things, like now I'm in a place where I'm content with it. So this video was kind of for fun to see if I do end up getting these pieces in the future, but who knows, maybe I'll make this video a couple years down the line and the things that I want are completely different than what I'm talking about right now. We'll see how that plays out. But for now, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, you can subscribe to my channel down below, and you can also give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. But that is all that I have for you today, and I hope to see you in my next video.